so I cannot help you.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Today I'm excited to have a conversation again about TBEX. So if you're new to TBEX, I met Gerritt at TBEX Quebec just this past, it was June, so it's been pretty recent. So we're going to chat a little bit about TBEX. So welcome, Gerritt.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Wonderful. So was this your first TBEX and what initially inspired you to attend TBEX North America this year?
No, this was actually my fifth TBEX, so starting to feel I'm getting part of uh, repeating the like every time like part of the group now. I find TBEX really wonderful and inspiring. So my first TBEX was in the Czech Republic in Ostrava. As you probably can already hear from my accent, I'm from the Netherlands. I'm from Europe. So that was the European edition, and I was having this idea about building a website, a destination blog about the Netherlands, and I just didn't see like how this could be something like how this could become a business and not just a free guidebook. So, and I don't know how I heard about it. A friend of mine, I think, recommended TBEX and said you should try that. I think that's what they do. They have these workshops, and all these people with travel blogs and travel writers come there. Check it out. I went there, and it was just an amazing experience, and I learned so much about those basic questions that I had. So yeah, that was I wanted to go back. So I did, and then I went to Billings, Montana.
Oh,
That was my North American edition. I thought it would be a fun, different perspective to be at a North American edition too, and see what different people would come compared to the European edition. And it's just a night, the thing with TBEX is always in these wonderful places. So you also learn about new places and meet other people. Not everybody comes to Europe, and not everybody comes to North America. So that's really fun. So that was my second, and then there was COVID, so it took a little bit, and I came back to Spain, San Sebastian last year, and I did Anchorage, Alaska also last year.
oh.
So that was really wonderful. And now it was Quebec City was the first one in 2025, and it's going to be Donegal, Ireland in September, where I will also be. So yeah, I love TBEX.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, you've been to several now. I think that's great for people. I mean, that you went from like, well, I'll just check it out. I mean, to now continuing to come back and go to each conference. What were a few of the standout sessions for you? Either, starting way back when you were trying to build your business for someone that's kind of considering that, versus now, when you've bet in your
Mhm.
business. I mean, were there sessions that might appeal to both? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think what's really great about TBEX is that they do different sessions on different topics. So whether you can kind of get a feel for if it's a beginner session or it's a little bit more advanced. Although I have to say, even from beginner sessions, I sometimes still there's just sometimes just one thing that somebody needs to say that sticks out to you, like, oh my goodness, I can implement that, and I'm not doing
Right.
it. And I think even more powerful is always the person sitting next to me, like you did.
Oh,
We would have Yeah, we would not be on this call,
no.
if you would not be sitting in that room. And I think that is one of the most amazing things about TBEX. But for me, what really stuck out with the workshops in the first one was the really practical hands-on, like how to make money with a website sessions. Like what are the possibilities? If you come for the
Right.
first time, literally no idea. So yeah, and I think for me now with TBEX Quebec, the session that I loved most was the one about affiliate marketing. And that was also the one we were in together.
Yeah.
And that was the one that I really took home and started working with when I got back in my flow. So yeah, that was one that stuck out for me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I
Yeah.
find that too. There's so many different kind of tracks, whether originally I think T-Bex, everyone, it was, travel blogger, the T and the B, but it's really
Yeah.
about all content now. Like if you're a photographer and you're wondering, how to make more money in a different avenue than you may have explored. I mean, they had sessions on drone photography.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, they
did.
had sessions on YouTube channels. I mean, there was just like so many different choices as a content creator.
Oh my goodness, you're so right. You have to like kind of protect yourself for FOMO. You're like, oh
Yeah,
my, that's great too. Could I do drone
I know.
photography?
Yeah,
What could I add to my business? But then you also have to focus. Like, okay, no, this is what I'm doing. This is the track I'm on. This is my list. And is there anything that fits in my goals for right now? And not chase everything that's shiny and fantastic. But you're right. If that's something that's your jam and you're not a writer, TBEX is also for you. So I think from that perspective, it's really great. And what I also felt about this edition, particularly because last year I was honestly a little bit disappointed with TBEX, and I think it is because the whole change that we all went through with Google and the search
yeah,
results and SEO and all of these things and advertising. I chose with my website to never do advertising, to never do media finds. That made a big difference. I really wanted to build a business with products and services instead of just trying to get as many people on there to make money with ads. So I think that was different. But I know, especially last year, that it was very hard for people to move away from this now old-fashioned model of building high traffic numbers and getting those clicks. And I felt including TBEX was not ready yet to move on. So it was almost like a funeral service for like dying
yeah.
websites. And I was really depressed when came home. So I was really happy that this year they really refocused and I felt it was a whole new energy and also a different audience. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can kind of concur with that because this was only my third T-Bax.
Okay, yeah.
So the second one was San Sebastian, and
Okay.
again, my website is really old. I mean, I built it years ago when I first started doing photography
Mm.
tours, and I'm going to date myself here. It was pre-Instagram when I was, photographers in California, they had no clue about how brilliant the color was, say in New
Mm.
England, the trees. I mean, you really you didn't have as much information out there because the internet was
Right.
still new. You didn't have Instagram, people making these locations like so available to everybody. So again,
Yeah.
my website was always built on a very niche topic, targeted to like people looking for a certain thing. And it wasn't about high clicks. I kind of felt San Sebastian too. I didn't get as many takeaways. There was kind of like this
Right.
kind of like everyone was kind of in a low, like they were bemoaning the
Yes.
fact. There was like you said, funeral service is a good way to describe it because even in the pre-events, many of the people on the tours, they were all these people that had built their whole business on high traffic, high, SEO rich word content stuff that, that was not my goal. So,
No. And that was difficult because that was the moment I felt like, do I still belong to this group?
yeah.
But I love the destination. And I also understood that if this was your business model for so many years, including many people that organized TBEX had the same models, that this is a very hard pill to swallow and also to see again new opportunity. Uh, that takes time. So I understood that. So that's why it kept coming. I want to give it time. But I
Yeah.
did say, okay, 2025 is my test. Now
Right.
this year it should be different. And I was very happy that Quebec delivered on so many levels. I thought it was an amazing T-Bags. So I'm really hoping Ireland will continue to be the same thing. Because it is a wonderful community and it's a big community. There's so many people. Like you said, you were in San Sebastian. We did not meet. I
No,
was
we
there
did
too.
it.
And
Right.
now
Yeah.
we did. So, you need a few additions to meet a lot of people. So yeah, it's
And
worth
that's
it.
what I think is valuable about going to TBEX too, because hopefully TBEX will continue to, draw in people that are doing so many different aspects in the travel, under the travel umbrella, because there are so many
Right.
ways to have a business, I think, and maybe it's not your
Yeah.
full-time business, but to make income via travel or have an interest in it. So I agree.
I, I 100% believe there's still a lot out there. I think it's part of business. It changes. Kodak, Nokia, they all made mistakes. If you do not change with times, you become redundant. But if you do change, I believe there is still enough opportunity out there. traffic, it's I personally, for me, it was also I think it's also because I started quite late that made a difference. That I already started to realize, like, okay, why do we actually get this for free? I don't know
Right.
anything else in business where you get anything for free. Like if you're
No.
gonna date yourself before the internet, how would you get in front of your customers? You would pay for that. So why is it now any different? And I think we just, for convenience, did never ask ourselves that question and just gratefully took it from Google. But now we see how we paid.
Yeah.
But I also think we can learn from that and still see, okay, what is my offer? What do I actually have that's valuable? How can I package that? How can I sell it? And if I have an income stream for that, how can I pay that for my traffic? And then it's a whole new conversation. Just going away from TBEX, I know what, but
No,
I
but
just
it, no,
enjoyed
no.
getting to the sessions and learn these things.
Yeah, I did
Um,
too. There was even a session on like, you know, grant writing almost. Like how can
okay,
you use like grant writing to maybe fuel what you're doing? I mean, just some
okay, yeah.
very different angles that I thought, hey,
Like,
now
hey,
we're
maybe
back.
that's for me.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, which I was
yeah.
happy to see that again at this tea bags because I did kind of feel like I love San Sebastian. Again, beautiful location. Why not go and meet other people that love, you already connect with people. We all love travel, but
Yes.
sessions
So
weren't
there's so
always,
much value right there.
yes.
And I think in San Sebastian, I met this guy that actually, I won't repeat it on camera because it's not a nice word, but he used the F word and then he said the word Google. And he said, I don't care about SEO. I built a affiliate system, and he's going to talk in Ireland. So I'm super curious about to hear his talk. But he built an affiliate business so well oiled that he was able to say, okay, I make 20 cents from every visitor to my website. So I'm going to advertise now on Google and Facebook, and I pay no more than 10 cents. So I know whatever I put in, I get out double. And he built
Wow.
this whole system and he made that work. And I was just so inspired by this guy. And I met him at San Sebastian. So,
Oh,
it was still
wow.
so valuable. And I met him again in Quebec and I said, I really tried to get to that 20 cents with my affiliates, but I cannot get there. I was like stuck at 8 or 9 cents. I'm going to be honest and open here. And he said, let's go for a beer and let's go over your website and see why. And that was, that's so wonderful about T-Bags. And we looked at my website and said, your affiliate game is not there. You need to do more. You need to be
Oh,
more upfront. You need to be higher up. You need to do upsells. You need to really think as it as almost like a business every page, a mini business. And then I went to that session you and I were in about the affiliates, and there were
yes.
some very inspiring people. This woman who has this Japan blog who did an amazing job with her affiliates, and Will was there with his backpack business and his affiliate strategy. And I was like, oh my goodness, oh, I can up my like 10x my affiliate game. Let's go back to all of my pay articles when I get back home one by one. Don't get overwhelmed. One by one, I'm going to change
Yes.
them. And after some time, I will get there. And that's what I'm doing right now. So just to give it like how T-Bex affected me.
Right. No, I think that's brilliant. And I know at the very first TVEX I went to, which was actually in the United States, it was just in Wisconsin, small town, but it was
Okay.
such a wonderful experience. And someone
Yeah.
said, you do, your head gets full of all these, oh my God, I want to do this and I want to do that. But if you can focus on what you think is that
One
one
thing. Yeah.
takeaway, that one thing, and spend time on that, I mean, right there, the value of the ticket. I mean, the ticket, if you buy
Yeah.
it a year in advance, is a couple $100s. You get
It
like
is.
two
It's
days
very
worth of,
affordable.
yeah, it's very affordable. You get meals, you get,
Yes.
I mean, you get parties, you get, I mean, right there. I mean, the
Yeah.
content, I think for the value you get, I haven't found other conferences that I could say I feel like the value is there. Have you attended other travel conferences or business conferences that
Well, I did business conferences, yes. There was this for a while, Chris Ducker, he's from the UK and he does this how to build a personal brand. That's his thing. and
Oh,
I was very
wow.
interested in that because that's also how I built my website. So I thought it was super interesting, and I went to sessions in London. That was amazing a few times. So I did that. I want to go to TravelCon, but I never got there. I think it's also because for me, my journey started just before COVID. And I just had my website live and I got my first like 50 visitors a month, which I was super excited about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then COVID hit and the airports closed and everything dropped to zero. And I had e-commerce businesses still at the time. I had a warehouse. And that skyrocketed. So my whole travel blog idea went, I put it away and I forgot it basically during the entire COVID time
Oh,
until I actually got a health scare and I got really sick and I had to close my former business. I couldn't physically do it anymore. My doctor would not allow me. So she told me to close it or hire
wow.
somebody to run it. And I did not want to do that. So, yeah, so that's when I was laying in my hospital bed and I couldn't do anything else. I picked up my laptop again. COVID was over by that time, or over, but things opened up again, and I started to write again, and I started to get traffic, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm very happy this happened because this makes me really happy. And I started to expand the website, and within a year, I was able to get a full-time income out of Hidden Holland again. Yeah, so that was
Wow.
quite amazing, and so yeah, yeah. Then, long story again. I'm sorry. Short is that during the whole COVID time, I didn't do any conferences, so I'm kind of back at the on track again since I think last year. Yeah, San Sebastian was again the first one.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't, but um,
Yeah,
I think TBEX is an amazing value.
I'm curious about TravelCon since you mentioned it. I
Hmm.
think they were gonna have a TravelCon in I want to say it was like Tucson, and I did buy a ticket, but I was unable to go. So I'm wondering
Oh,
where I'll have to look and see where the next one is because I'm
the
almost
next one
curious.
is.
Is where?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like where's the next one?
yeah, exactly.
And how different is it? On the other hand, I also feel like this is already quite an
Yeah,
investment,
exactly.
also time-wise, once, twice a year. Maybe it's enough. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I agree. So tell me a little bit about how you felt Alaska T-Bex differed from, say, San Sebastian, because they kind of marketed the Alaska conference differently. It was supposed to be, I think they called it more immersive. I'm not sure. I just remember they were trying to
It
angle it a
did.
bit different.
Can I be completely honest here?
Yeah, of
Or
course,
should I
please.
be nice?
No, no, no. I want to hear
No,
why.
I hated Alaska. I just did not like it. It was
Wow.
the destination, of course, was amazing, and I
Right.
went with now a really good friend who I met at TBEX Billings for the first time,
Oh,
and we
wow.
became really good friends, and now we're partners to each other every week. So just being in the same place with her, because she's from Denver, Colorado, I'm from Amsterdam, so we don't meet that often. So just being there together was amazing, and we brainstormed in our Airbnb. So for that reason, it was worth the entire trip. But the T-Bex itself, I thought they did not deliver yet on what they promised. I really hope if they're gonna hear this conversation, I hope they're gonna maybe look back at it and see how they can improve it. Because, like you said, it was supposed to be a more immersive experience, a
Yes.
smaller group. The sessions were supposed to be longer, and you should go more in depth and maybe workshop
Yes.
like almost
Yes.
practical. Like, okay, we take somebody's website and let's work.
Right,
Uh,
right.
for me, it was still the same type of sessions that the
Oh,
regular T-Bags. They were short and they were very beginners level, and they were
oh.
very SEO based also. When Google already did those updates,
Yeah,
and we
right.
already lost it, and
Exactly.
everybody, and those sessions were like, this is how many characters to put in your title, and make sure to do EAT at the beginning of your article. And I was like, oh my goodness, why did I travel all the way out here to hear this?
Right.
So I was super disappointed. And there were also many first timers, and I think those type of events should be separate from TBEX. I think TBEX is a wonderful and inclusive and welcoming place to first timers. I think if you're dabbling with an idea and you're serious, I think if you come to TBEX, you will meet a really wonderful group of people that are also willing to share their information with you.
Right.
Um, but these sessions, these in depth, should be for people that are already going, because you need to be able to learn from everybody you meet, and you don't want to have like a 1 in 3 chance to meet somebody who also
No.
is at the same level as where you are, and that was not there. So no, I don't think the event is what it could have been or was what it could have been, and I hope they're going to improve it because I love the idea about it to go a little bit higher level,
Yes, I agree.
more advanced, more in depth. Because sometimes you leave those sessions inspired with so many questions, and how amazing would it be if you can then dive in?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like the concept, and I wish if they do it again, and I didn't go, but I was wanting to go because of the
yeah,
idea that they floated of it be like longer sessions, like maybe speak the first half, and now everyone get their laptop out, and we're gonna like
yes,
really dive in, even 2 hour, 3 hour, or share information, because like you said, you gained a lot from someone you met offline outside of the conference. But, it'd be nice to get that at a conference and
yes.
gear it towards people that like you've been doing this for a while. You're been in your business, and now how can I improve on what I already have?
Yes, so exactly, and I think the destination delivered. It's of course a beautiful destination. It had wonderful tours, good meals, great parties. We learned a lot about First Nations. So from that perspective, nothing to blame the city, but I think
Right.
TVEX could have set it up a little bit different. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. So, for someone who's never attended TBEX, what are some tips that you might have for thinking ahead to choosing TBEX, how to prepare?
Oi, good question. Um, well, I remember my first TVEX. I was super nervous. And there was literally no reason to be that way. And I think that's one of the great things about going to a conference that's as similar, like-minded people, that you
Yes.
have something to talk about. So starting a conversation is not that difficult. You have your pets and you have your stars, right? And those stars show how many times you've been. So if you have 1 star, the conversation starter is easy. Hey, this is your first time here. Why did you come to TBEX? How did you find out? So you start there. If there's multiple stars, it's like, oh my goodness, you've been to so many. You're a
Yes.
veteran. Like, oh, why do you keep coming back? Why do you love this so much? What do you do? So, somebody's most likely further in their journey with a business if they have multiple stars. So, I think that's and so that makes it easy. They have a beginner session which I went to in Ostrava, and actually also went at my second TBEX in Billings again to the beginner sessions because I still felt still a little bit nervous and
Yeah.
still not at ease. So I went there again, and they do a really good job there to meet people around you, to talk about what TBEX is and what to expect. So definitely go there. That would be my tip number one. The other tip, because that's sometimes what I find disappointing when I meet first timers, it's a conference. It's not a um, different type of vacation. And
Right.
sometimes people come because it's not expensive and they give you those meals, and it is safer because it's a solo tour because there's all these people around you, and they give you these tours in the beginning for free. That some people I have met only come for that. And I
Right.
don't think that is right. So I think if you come, you really need to think, well, okay, why am I going to this conference? Like, and have already think about an idea. I mean, you don't need to have your business, but you kind of, if you get more out of it if you already have an idea about what you envision. Like, what would you
Right.
like to share? What is you're a photographer, so you have to, if you'll be a first-time visitor, like you already have this idea about I want to learn people about photography and take people places.
Right.
And I think that's really important to know. Or I want to be an influencer on social media because I have a great way of communicating, or I know this very wonderful places, or a destination that you would like to, like me, like I want to talk about the Netherlands and Amsterdam. Maybe you want to talk about your state or your city, or so there's so many different angles, but kind of already know your angle before you arrive, because then, because it's also networking. So then when
Yes.
you start to connect with people, and people's going to ask you like, hey, you're here for the first time, like what's your idea, what do you did you already start, or uh, do you want to start, but want to learn how, but what is your topic? And then you kind of need to have
Yeah.
an answer. So that would be, I think, my second tip to make it for everybody more valuable, because then you on the other side of the conversation can start sharing and help, or it's just, yeah, it's you get more out of it, and it's also valuable for the person. Because I love meeting also people just starting, because you get fresh ideas and fresh
Yes.
angles, and so you also don't need to feel like that would be my third tip. Don't feel intimidated by people with many stars on their badge. I find everybody to be just as nice when you talk to them and open, and I know, at least from the people that I met that are way further ahead than I am, that they also are very willing to share, as long as you're also showing you're serious and you want to move forward. And it's they're saying it unkindly, but I'm Dutch, so we're direct. Not a waste of your time. So I think that's good to have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So anyway, sorry, I keep answering this long, but yeah, that would be my tips.
No, those are three very good tips. I agree. Especially the tip of like, think about why you're there. It's not, to
Yeah,
me, it shouldn't just be a vacation. I agree on that point because there is so much, and the rest of us, you're doing us a little bit of a disservice because I love the
yeah.
fresh ideas. And if I,
Me
so I
too.
like I like talking to the first timers myself
Me
because it's
too.
like, that's the generation, they're seeing things through a different lens, and that's the spark that I may need. They may say one thing where I'm like, wow, I never considered that, or
Yeah,
offering that, or just rephrasing things. I mean, words change in meaning, using bespoke versus unique, just a different word choice to gather the type of
yeah,
clients each of us may be looking for. And it's as
yeah.
simple as that.
It really is. And I also feel like when I started on my first TBEX, that's where I took in so much information, and the second and the third. And now I get to this point that, okay, now I have a business. Now it pays my bills. So now I can also share back. And I really enjoy doing that. So, I love meeting at first time. It was very, who has already a great idea, is stuck on things. And I don't know everything, but maybe one of those things I know how I moved forward, and I can share that. So that's, for me, it's very rewarding, and I also feel not the obligation to pay back, but something that you know, I got it. Somebody gave it to me, so I love to give it back. But then, yeah, if you come as a first time, also realize you're at a business conference, so come a little bit prepared. You don't need to have all your answers, but you also should not come with, oh, I would love to have a travel business, but I have just no idea. If only I had an idea.
Right.
You do need to
Right.
have the idea before you come.
Right.
And then the how to and the practical, that's what you can learn. And that's why the sessions are there. That's when you learn about YouTube and drone video and affiliate
Yeah.
marketing and all of these things. But it starts with the idea. And then if you are an entrepreneur and you have this creative mindset, then it should all start to work in your brain and connect and click, and you're like, oh, this is how I could probably do it. And then you come home and you start building. So then you also take a lot more out of it if you come with your idea.
Right.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
don't feel intimidated. Also, please do not.
Right. Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
a huge takeaway because I think, like you, my first time, it was like, there is this intimidation factor a little
Yeah,
bit
it
of
is.
going, especially I think for some of us that, we're travelers, but we're not like public speakers. We're not,
Right.
or
No,
we're not
not
entertainers.
extroverts.
We
So
we're more introverted. So we are a little bit like, oh, I'm gonna go to this conference and there's all this networking and people,
yeah.
and it does take a lot out of some of us. I know for myself, I didn't personally attend like some of the evening parties, especially the one
Right.
between the 2 days of sessions, because it's like, okay, I learned all this today. I want to go home and go back to my Airbnb and make
Process.
notes and process and then prepare, kind of like going to school the next day. Like, okay, what are the sessions tomorrow? Which ones now do I feel like would be of most value, and approach it that way.
Absolutely, and I also really feel like you should really do you, and Some people really want to learn from the sessions, other people really want to network, some people want both, some people are very outgoing and extrovert, and then it's super easy for them to go to the parties. For others, and most of us, I would say, are more introverted. It's almost related to the type of work we do. We chose to sit behind our computers on our own.
Yeah.
99% of the time, I sit in this office and I have four walls and nobody talks to me. So then to be there with hundreds of people is
Right.
it's a big thing. It takes a lot of energy. I can come across as very outgoing, and I am. I love to interact with people, but it takes energy from me. It doesn't give me energy. So when I leave, I'm super tired. So then when that party is in the evening, I really need to push myself and drag myself to get out. And sometimes I love to be in my comfort zone and just stand there in line and hope nobody talks to me.
Right.
But then I realize, like, oh my goodness, I'm only here for a few days, and there's all
Yeah.
these amazing minds around me that do the same thing as I do. I need to get to meet people and know them and say hi. I'm Gerritt. Who are you? And then look at the badge and start the conversation. So, um, yeah, that is. It's not easy, but if you do it, you get a lot more out of it. So it's worth it.
Right.
And it should not be negative, although it feels very hard.
Yeah.
And everybody's like scary.
Yeah.
They probably feel the exact same way, so that
Yeah, I think
helps.
everyone feels the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
way. And
yeah,
it is. It's just, prep yourself, go there with a smile, know what you're passionate about, and I'm sure
yeah.
you'll draw in and meet others because that's a big part of it.
And sometimes you don't have a connection. That's also very much okay. They say it was wonderful meeting you, and you move on. But usually that's not the case. There's always something. There's a topic that they do
Yeah.
that interests you. There's a destination that is interesting. There is just something about their life. I still have to find somebody who's not interesting, to be honest. There's always
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So besides the sessions that they have during the day, they have this portion called speed networking. So
Hmm.
talk to me a little bit about speed networking. I'm sure you attended it in a couple since you've been to TBEX now 5 times. Um, how do you approach speed networking, and what do you feel has been valuable in that, or have you participated?
Wait. Now I need to be really honest. So here I feel like a beginner. So speed networking, I did not do in the beginning. Well, for one reason, I have a destination block, and that makes it a lot more difficult because, if you are a traveler around the world, there's all these different destinations there at those tables, and you can see if the destination is somewhere you want to go to and talk with them and see if you can work with them. But for me, it is the Netherlands and Amsterdam. That's it. So if there's Anchorage or Wichita or San Sebastian,
Right.
there's not much I can talk about with them. So that makes speed networking for me limited. But of course, there's also affiliate companies there, and there's insurance companies, and there's all these businesses that I can work with and promote. So I also had this beginner syndrome that I was not there yet for a very long time, like this imposter syndrome, like who am I being here? Like I just started, I don't have the numbers yet and all of these things. So that took me a while. I actually booked my first speed networking sessions this TBEX and the last ones. I start dabbling my toes in the water there a
Oh,
little bit.
nice.
I speak with companies like State 22 and an insurance company um, and also start to realize my value. Like, wait a second, because you also from if you talk especially to older travel bloggers that are not older in age but older in how long they're doing it. They came from that era with SEO, and they
Yeah.
were in Mediavine. And Mediavine was this golden 25,000 monthly visitors from mostly North America. That was the benchmark. That's what you needed to reach, and then you were successful because you were admitted to Mediavine. And you would go to your 50,000. I think they even upped it to
Wow.
50,000 in the end, right? So, and then you look at your Google Analytics and you're like, oh, I'm at 10,000, I'm small. But then I started to realize, but wait a second, I make a full-time income. And I don't think if you have 50,000 visitors and you just do Mediavine, you have a full-time income. I think you're kind of stuck at $1,000, maybe $1,500 level. It's a nice amount of money. It's not a full-time income. So I make more. So, hey, am I small? So that took me a little while to realize, like, okay, I don't get a big general public, but I get a very targeted audience. So maybe there is worth in that because that audience is ready
Yeah.
to buy and has money and is actually doing the trip. Like which brands would like to get in front of these people?
Right.
So yeah, so that's new for me. And I'm still trying, and I still don't have like my media kit and all of these things. I need to make those things. So there's also for me lots of. So I would love a session, for example, at TBEX on media kits because I have no idea.
Yes.
Or talk with people who have those things and want to share and teach me like how they did it and how to. This TBEX, there was one person um, who, I think, in one session in the Q&A, she started to share a little bit with how she approaches brands and how she talks to brands. And that was for me like, okay, I had my ears open. And I was like, okay, how do you do this? How do you do this
Yeah.
conversation and be professional and offer like value to them? So I'm not an expert here, but I feel it's a very valuable thing if you know how to do it.
Yeah, and that's a session I would
How's it
like
for
to
you?
see.
Do
Yeah,
you do
that's a
it?
I have done the speed networking, I think just again to try to dip my toe in. Again, I'm very niche with what I'm offering with
Yeah.
tours, and I'm not like, wanting to make this affiliate income or you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, so I've kind of got a same viewpoint as you do. So I did go sign up for speed networking, I think in Wisconsin, just because I thought, A, it's good practice on my quote elevator pitch of what I do, getting more
Right.
concise on what my vision is, who my audience is, why someone might want to work with me. Again, is there a way to connect? Is there a way to
Yeah.
maybe do something? So I think in that aspect, but I do need to work on my presentation, my media kit, getting concise, which I think that 8 minutes forces
Me
you to
too.
do. So I
You
did
too.
sign up,
Yeah.
and honestly, I didn't get accepted for a lot of the networking, but I did
Hmm.
take advantage of the fact that the tables with those destinations and insurance companies, and the other thing I found, I think it was Lulu who does like print
Okay.
options, which I think is maybe a good fit for like making a small travel guide. Maybe it's an add-on
Oh
piece,
yeah.
which I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of, before, and selling that or doing something with that. They were there. So going and seeing them in between your sessions, or go when because they're there like while we're
The
doing
whole day,
other,
right?
yeah, the whole
Yeah.
day. And those people are literally kind of obligated in a way. They've been paid for their table. So go approach them when we have
Yeah.
those breaks, when you have those, like, maybe you finish lunch quickly, go in there and walk
I agree.
around and just maybe sit down, if you're curious about, maybe it's a destination, you're just curious about it, and meet those people, because again, you never know what
You
idea.
really never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually did that with the tables too. I was more particular now about choosing my sessions. I didn't feel like I need to be at a session all the time. If the topics were not really in my, my lane,
Right.
I would also skip a few, also to bring back a little bit of calm. And I also feel like every time when I look back at TBEX, my most value come out of meeting the people that I meet and being on a call with you right now, or and I was with another podcast 2 weeks ago. Also, somebody I met at Cubex. So for me, that's the most important part. The sessions, if there's topics that I really want to work on. But if I miss something, you can always watch it back with the recordings. But you can never meet the people again
Yes.
afterwards. So that's your only option, and the tables. So yeah, I gave myself the permission also to just go to. I didn't book any speed networking, but I
Okay.
went to tables when I skipped the session because then they're all empty.
Yes,
So everybody has time
exactly.
for you. Yeah,
And then they're
or
more
like you say with lunch.
relaxed.
Yeah,
You're more
yeah.
relaxed. You're not on this 8 minute. The room isn't like
No.
crazy buzzing. I know.
Yeah.
There's not that ding like, okay, your 8 minutes is
No,
over. There's not
exactly.
that frenzy. So, and they're, I think,
Yeah,
more relaxed. I had a really nice conversation with
awesome.
Lulu, who do these print products. I haven't quite figured out how that piece may play in, but still just those good conversations and connections that can be
Yeah, you
made.
have that starting point, right, into a new idea.
Yeah, exactly. So did you feel the destination added to? the TBEX conference. I think
Oh
you
my
kind of
goodness. I
touched.
think T Quebec set a standard now. I think, oh my goodness, every next destination is in trouble. This was my fifth I could compare, and I never had a feeling like a destination did not deliver. But this Quebec. Oh my goodness! Shout out to them. I tried to promote them as much as I could in my personal channels, but I have a destination blog, so I really couldn't promote them as much. But I knew most people could, and they deserve it. It's first of all, it's a wonderful, beautiful destination,
Oh my
but the way
gosh.
how they set it, everything up, and the pass they gave us, the city pass.
Yeah.
Um, I think that was we used it
Oh,
for
good.
multiple things. Yeah, we went on that bus, the double-decker bus, went into a viewing tower. We did the cable car ride near the waterfall. So we did all these things, and they provided for it. And the food was excellent.
Oh my
The
gosh. Yeah.
it really was, wasn't it? And the
Yeah.
parties were amazing. Like that boat that we went on the opening party when
Yes.
they had like the Cirque du Soleil type of acts in there, and the uh, really good food also there. Again, seafood, high quality. The closing party in that beautiful building. There was so much history there, and then oh, and with the performances, it was just very special. I think I really look, and I cannot wait to come back to Quebec and visit it again. I think part of it is because just how welcoming they were to us,
Yeah.
and really gave us the opportunity to see their city.
Yeah.
Yeah, cannot wait to come back.
Oh, I agree. And I'd never visited Quebec City
Me
before,
neither.
which, sometimes these destinations, I think that's part of the appeal of like, the
Yeah,
conference as well. But I have to say, this being my third TBEX, Quebec City, like, really just welcomed us. And I mean, they put a lot of effort into, again, the food was top notch. I mean,
yeah.
and it's hard to make food for a large group of people, but
Oh my goodness, yes.
the quality, and then they had like a coffee maker there making lattes and
I
cappuccinos
know,
and
right?
like endlessly, and like they had cheese, and I mean there was food like all day all the time.
There was. I think they made it really easy for us to learn the city and then promote it. So I hope, and I feel they deserve that, the promotion and articles from the content creators, and they made it so easy for us to get access to everything.
Oh, I agree. And the city
Yeah,
pass too as well. I mean, they really corralled their local businesses to
yeah.
really, just
Restaurant coupons we
I
got.
know.
There was, oh
Yeah.
my good, I couldn't even do all of it,
I
and I
couldn't
wish.
either. I wish I'd
Okay,
actually.
tip number four for
Yes.
first-time visitors. Do not book your flight the day before the conference and the day after to leave, or leave on the day itself. You go into an amazing destination. They're going to take you on pre-tours 1 and sometimes 2 days. Then there is the conference itself. And a lot of people not go to the closing party and they just fly home after the conference day. I think that's a missed opportunity because at that closing party, you have again the opportunity to meet wonderful other creators that you would otherwise not meet. You cannot meet everybody on those 2 days, but then you are in this wonderful destination. So make sure you have time to see it and explore it, even if the city doesn't give you anything, because
Yes.
it's still fun. And if you're gonna make the investment, then 2 days or 3 days extras is not gonna. We're travelers, so we should travel. And if you get a surprise like this destination, I think it was on the interview that I heard from you on the YouTube channel from somebody else who said, I already have my flight tickets and I wish I knew earlier. But then I'm thinking, yeah, but you should have already like uh, calculated that in that you are in a destination to see, and then you get a surprise like this from Quebec City, and you can really enjoy it. So if you already booked, you cannot change anymore. But if you're listening and you're a first time visitor, then it's worth it to stay a little
Yes.
bit longer. Yeah,
Yeah, that is an excellent tip. That is
yeah.
excellent. I would
Not
agree.
everybody can, but you're gonna be disappointed usually if you don't.
Right. I think
Yeah,
that's true. And I mean, wherever the destination is, we're a traveler. I mean, add a
we
couple
are.
days pre-conference and maybe an extra day post-conference so you can really enjoy the destination, get to know it, spend a little more time there
Right.
if you can. I mean, I know some
If you
people.
can, it's not always possible. But if we are travel creators as a profession, then we should probably have time to travel. So we should allow for it, I think, because it's going to make it also a lot more fun, and you're gonna get better content for your website. So yeah,
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 so I think if
yeah.
anyone's considering TBEX, I would definitely look at their website now, look at the
Yes,
destinations, buy the ticket early too, because when you buy it, it
yes,
is most
yeah,
affordable early. And the
it
other thing
is.
I'd like to point out about TBEX, which I'm not sure other conferences do, is if you're not able to attend, if something comes up, so you buy your ticket a year in advance, they will allow you to move that ticket to and apply it to a future conference. So,
That's a great point you're there saying because that is what they're very easy with that. I had a ticket for during the beginning of COVID, and I was
oh,
still able to use it like way after. They're very flexible with that. So no, that is a great thing you can do. So yeah, get it early because the price is so much better. If you cannot do, then go to the next one.
right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Garrett, for this conversation about TBEX. Tell everyone your website and how to connect with you if they're interested in hearing more about you and Hidden Holland.
So yeah, my business Hidden Holland, so it's hiddenholland.com. You can reach me at Gerrit, Gerrit, at hiddenholland.com. If you would like to get in touch with me, you get straight into my inbox. If you're a content creator, if you you get inspired by my website, you want to know more, get in touch. If you want to travel to the Netherlands, please do get in touch because I love to help people with their itineraries. So yeah, just use that email or go to the website and find the contact form, and you will find me. But it was really I appreciate this conversation. I hope I wasn't too honest,